Hello, hello, friends. We are right at the cusp of the new year, which means that we start our new budget book. That being said, I wanted to go ahead and do our budget for the first week of January. If you followed me for a while, we budget from the Thursday that my husband gets paid until the Wednesday before his next paycheck. So the paycheck that we're currently going to budget for is his December 28th check. So it's his very last paycheck of the year. As far as inflow goes, we're expecting to get my husband's paycheck. And then my paycheck. And this is the last paycheck from my former employer. My last day is the 2nd, but they have already paid me out. So my husband's paycheck, I have budgeted for $750. I've got little Leo crying. Now, because we're later in the week, I already know that his paycheck came in for $943.35. I don't have a new budget, so I'm planning on doing my paycheck a month ahead. And so what's going to end up happening is that I'm using the money that they paid me out from my previous employer to get myself set up for that. And I don't know, I know that we're going on a bi-weekly paycheck, so I'll be getting paid every other week, and that my start date is on the 8th, but I don't know when my first paycheck will be or for how much. So that being said, my plan is to kind of set my income into savings and then use what I got the previous month to pay the next month. As far as what my income came in for, it came in for $5,667.78. And when I add those two values together, that leaves us with a total of $6,611.13. Taking a look at the bills for the first week in January, number one is always rent. Then we have our car insurance, which is through Allstate. We have Upstart, which is that consolidation loan that I had taken out at the beginning of this journey. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull Excel because I did forget to pay it in the month of December. Luckily, there's no late fee on that, but I wanted to go ahead and get that taken care of. So it is 2 months worth that we're paying this week. Rent is always due on the 1st. Car insurance and the loan are always due on the 2nd. And then our Excel bill, which is our natural gas and electric, is always due on the 8th. I'm going to go ahead and skip the budgeted because I already know the actual amounts. So rent is $2,634.43. Allstate is $314.15. That did end up going up because we got the new vehicle and because we are still insuring the old vehicle. I I had mentioned in a previous video that I wasn't sure if we were going to keep it or not, but I will be honest with you all. Having the truck came in clutch, especially after the latest blizzard we had here in Colorado. I just feel safer driving it, and the new car is great on mileage for my husband back and forth. So we don't regret this decision as of yet, but we'll see what the year brings. Then we've got Upstart, which is $711.04 every month. And then the Excel, this one hurts me. It is $323.85. When I add those four values together, let's see. That gives us a value of $3,983.47, which means we have $2,627.66 extra. Moving down to our variable expenses, I'm going to go ahead and list our normal variable expenses. So we've got food, gas, pets, hubby, me, and miscellaneous. I did get rid of eating out. As I mentioned in my previous video, we are going to give Factor Meals a shot for the month of January because my hours are later than usual and my husband goes to sleep earlier. We did end up getting a sale, so we've been paying less than $100 a week. But I am budgeting more because we do still, even though we're getting lunches and dinners, we do still have to pay for breakfasts and drinks. I'm hoping to put us on a diet so that we won't be snacking too much, but having healthy snacks will be important as well. I forgot to go ahead and bring down that leftover amount, so I'll go ahead and do that right now. And because we have this big leftover and I'm currently not putting anything towards our sinking funds, because we are in a kind of in-between phase and I'm not sure what my new payment schedule is going to look like, we're going to skip the sinking funds. So I feel pretty comfortable with filling all of our food, our variable expenses. What I'm budgeting for food is $600. What I'm budgeting for gas, I'm going to keep at $250 because we weren't spending that much on gas. And I do have a good stockpile in the envelope. I think we're already a month ahead, both in food and gas. But I just want to be safe and not sorry. My puppies are going to get $100. I'm going to plan on me and my husband getting our personal funds. We will reevaluate this if it gets tougher for us and bring that value down. And then for miscellaneous, since I'm mixing it with the eating out, I'm going to stay conservative and just put $100 towards that. When I add those values together, that gives us a total of $1,250. And I'm checking to see if you can see that. So I'll pull it up just a little bit. So $1,250. When I take that away from our leftover, I didn't do that right. That leaves us with a total of $1,300 $377. $66. Since we're going to go ahead and skip the sinking fund section, let's go ahead and move into extra debt. So we've got a leftover amount of 137,766. The two current debts that we are working on are the city, which I want to make sure to put $355 towards a month. And with this value, I feel comfortable doing that right here on the first week. And then we've got Firestone, which is the company that we went through to do the fixes on the truck. And we currently have a balance of about $1,930 on there. The minimum on there is $70. But like I said, I do feel comfortable putting $200. Let's do $200, which means that our extra debt total is going to be $555. When we take that away from our leftover, we're left with $822.66. As far as extra savings goes, I do want to continue using the 52-week monthly saving challenge. I am going to do it a little different because even though I'm getting paid bi-weekly, I'm holding on to those checks. So I'll be putting into my 52-week number one. So 52 number one, I'll be putting $132.50 into there. And then for my husband's 52 challenge number two, which what ended up happening in 2023 is that the Christmas one, which is number one, saved us from Christmas. So we didn't get into any debt. I used all of the extra to kind of pay off the payments that we had for gas and things and food that had gone onto our credit cards that I still hadn't pulled the money out of the envelopes for. And so I decided to go ahead and pay that off and leave the money in the envelopes for food and gas so that we can be a month ahead in that as well. So that's why it's going to look a little different. For the 52-week number two, I'm planning on putting $26.50, which is what we put in weekly. And then, so let's do, hold on. Let's take $132.50. Oh, hold on. We've got our leftover amount minus $132.50. Minus $26.50, which means that what I'm going to do in order to get a zero-based budget is that I'm going to move $663.66 into the savings account to keep it as a buffer during this time. When I add those three values together, I'm going to end up with $822.66, which means that our leftover is going to be at a perfect 0, which means we've got a 0% budget. As always, my friends, I do want to go ahead and do the math. So we've got $6,611.13 minus our bill total, which is $3,983.47, minus $1,250 going to variable expenses, minus the 555 going towards debt, and then the $822.66 going into our savings. And yes, my friends, we got that beautiful zero budget. Anyways, my friends, I will be back with, I guess the next video is actually going to be our second week in January. These are our totals since I'm pulling that check from December 28th. So these two budgeting videos are going to be one after the other. But we got to just jump right in. I did a lot of not budgeting for probably the last 2 months as I was interviewing and trying to find a good fit. And now that I know what my future entails and I'm very excited about the growth, it's time to buckle down and get back on the budget, because this is what really helped us and has helped us. And we still have that goal to get out of debt. Well, friends, I hope each and every one of you has a happy new year. Be safe. I wish you health and prosperity in the new year. And take a drink for me if you do drink. Or say cheers, because I am really hoping that 2024 is going to be a much better year. Take care, my friends. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.